everyone. We're going to get started here tonight. First thing is that I'll introduce myself. My name is Karen Peters, and I'm a Deputy City Manager at the city. And of course, you all know Councilwoman Deborah Stark, who will take over in a moment. But first things first, I want to introduce our interpreter, if you could. So if anyone needs Spanish language interpretation, please visit with Carmen and she'll get you set up. Thank you for that. We have a lot of city staff here this evening to answer any questions that you have. We won't go through all of them, but I will recognize that the mayor's office is present. Jimmy Arwood recently joined Mayor Gallego's office, so welcome. I'll hand it over to Councilwoman Stark, and she can talk through the details.
Okay, thank you. So first we're going to see a video about the budget, the proposed budget. Obviously, it might change with all of your input. It's important we hear what you have to say tonight. We value it, and it's important in our final decisions. So hopefully everyone that wants to speak is signed a speaker's card. Welcome to probably one of my favorite parts of the district, the Visitor Center, North Mountain. I see Sunny Slopes here. I see Moon Valley's here. So I really appreciate all of you being here tonight. We'll start with the short video, and then we'll start calling the cards. I don't know how many we have. So we'll probably do a 2 to 3 minute time limit, depending on how many cards we have. So are we ready for the video? Great. We'll get out of the way until after the video.
Welcome to your first look at the City of Phoenix trial budget for 2019-20, proposed by the City Manager for public review and comment. The city budget is about people and programs for a stronger Phoenix. Every year, the city prepares a trial budget. This process gives you, our residents, an opportunity to share your priorities and feedback on how tax dollars are spent. 3 important points about this year's budget. It is balanced, which is required by law, and there is a surplus to allocate toward people and programs. Also, for the first time since the recession, ongoing revenues are equal to ongoing costs. We have a nearly $1.4 billion structurally balanced general fund budget thanks to Phoenix's continued strong economy and sound leadership by the mayor and city council. These efforts have led to a projected surplus of $55 million, of which $35 million is in ongoing resources and $20 million is in one-time resources. Over the next several minutes, we'll provide you a high-level view of the recommendations for how that surplus could be spent. Approximately 70% of the surplus is proposed for employee compensation, and the remaining 30% is proposed for services. And $5.5 million to continue investing in the Public Safety Pension Reserve Trust Fund to protect against unexpected downturns in investments. The 2019-20 trial budget continues to provide the core services residents expect. Chief among these is public safety. In addition, many recommendations are focused on improving neighborhoods, parks, libraries, support for outreach and services for people experiencing homelessness, additional street landscape maintenance, and preparations for the 2020 census. The city also continues to invest in maintaining the facilities you depend on and the fleet of vehicles that provide you everything from police response to street cleanups. Besides these proposals, we'll highlight expenditures that help the city address growth in construction and maintain the city's wastewater infrastructure. First, general fund recommendations. The general fund is made up of several different sources of revenue, including sales taxes, state shared revenue, and property taxes. 3/4 of the general fund pays for police, fire, and courts, with a smaller portion, the remaining 25%, going for everything else, like libraries, parks, senior services, arts, and administrative and support functions. The primary focus of the general fund service additions is public safety across a wide array of departments. Here are some of the proposals. 8 new firefighter positions to provide 24-hour operations at Fire Station 55 at I-17 and Jomax Road in North Phoenix. The creation of 1 new fire department crisis intervention unit, and in the police department, de-escalation training and community response services support for officer-involved shootings. These recommendations are based on public feedback from last year's budget process and the city's Traumatic Incident Intervention Resources Ad Hoc Committee. Another key area of public safety funding is focused on improving police support processes, using civilian staff to free up police officers' valuable time for calls and service. First, the addition of 10 civilian positions to support a federally mandated transition to the FBI's Uniform Crime Reporting National Incident-Based Reporting System. And second, the addition of 13 positions to streamline police booking procedures and create 2 new centralized booking centers to get officers back on the street faster. The trial budget also provides funding for increased inspection capacity to ensure buildings are meeting fire safety codes. Other public safety allocations: public defender representation for veterans and individuals with mental illness. In human services, add a caseworker and a vehicle to provide mobile victim advocacy. Security guard staffing at every library. Technology funding for cybersecurity to protect the city's infrastructure. In all, the trial budget proposes spending an additional $6.5 million on these and other public safety additions. Now, let's look at where you live, investments in programs to strengthen neighborhoods. First, the budget would allocate approximately $1 million to add staff to work with neighborhood groups, to clean up blight, work with nearby businesses, and improve response times for neighborhood issues. Parks and Recreation would see 8 new park ranger positions to increase patrol coverage at neighborhood and urban parks for a cost of about $1.1 million. Street Transportation and Public Works would support neighborhoods by transitioning staff from a temporary to permanent status to clean up encampments and washes and right-of-way for a cost of $970,000. Historic Preservation would also get $75,000 to support historic property preservation. In all, neighborhood revitalization would see an additional $3.5 million in funding. Next, community services additions restore some desired programs to strengthen the community and expand other resident requests, including restoration of Sunday library hours at 4 branches means all libraries will be open to provide greater access to in-demand books, movies, classes, and programs for library patrons of all ages. Expand the Phoenix Teens program for youth at 10 city sites, providing youth programs 6 days per week at a cost of $448,000. Providing case management assistance for homeless seniors and grant funding for arts organizations for youth and underserved communities would also be included. The budget would also add $1.3 million for long-standing street landscape maintenance needs, increasing frequency of maintenance from 3 to 4 times per year. New this year, a proposal to allocate funding to implement participatory budgeting or other projects in city council districts. Lastly, the city will invest in outreach to encourage residents to take part in the 2020 census. Given the move to digital form submission this census, the additional funds will help to ensure hard-to-count and hard-to-reach populations participate, so that Phoenix gets its fair share of the approximately $866 million in annual revenues allocated through federal programs for public safety, transportation, housing, and human services. Overall, added general fund expenditures outlined in the trial budget total $55.2 million and would add 131 positions to strengthen our people, programs, services, and infrastructure. Moving on to propose non-general fund additions for a variety of services. Strengthening our street transportation department with 11 positions added or converted to full-time for a variety of services to support increasing work in the right-of-way and the recently expanded street maintenance funding in the Capital Improvement Program budget, $768,000. Water Services will see 21 positions and approximately $2.9 million in funding to keep up with demand at the department's 91st Avenue treatment site, the state's largest. The site is currently treating 180 million gallons of water a day for more than 2.5 million residents in 5 cities. Finally, 19 positions for planning and development to address increasing construction demand, including reduction of turnaround times for pre-application submittals and complex commercial architectural plans. Added staff to ensure adherence to fire system requirements and ADA accessibility codes, and to maintain a 24-hour turnaround time for residential inspections. Thank you for taking the time to learn more about the 2019-20 trial budget. We hope that you'll review additional details in the budget pamphlet available at one of our 19 community budget hearings and online at phoenix.gov/budget. Please share your feedback in whatever way works best for you, at a public meeting or via email at budget.research@phoenix.gov. You can comment on the city's social media at City of Phoenix AZ on Facebook or Twitter and use hashtag PhoenixBudget, or call us at 602-262-4800. Thank you for being part of this important process.
Well, thank you. And thank you. More speakers. It is important we hear from you. This budget is your budget. And as you can see, we're a very complex city with 1.6 million people with a lot of different views on what the city needs to do. But we do want to hear from you. And so we'll get started with our speakers. And
just some minor logistics. This budget meeting is being recorded, and so when you do come up to make your comments, please speak into the microphone. You'll be able to take a look at this budget hearing on YouTube and Phoenix Channel 11. So just know about that. And of course, I hope everyone had an opportunity to grab one of the tabloids. So those are the main logistics I wanted to cover, and I'll turn it back over to Councilwoman Stark.
Thank you. So our first speaker is Steve Schumacher.
Thank you, Councilwoman Stark. I appreciate that. I also appreciate the opportunity, this process you put together. This is the third one I've attended, and they've all run very, very smoothly. So as a citizen, I appreciate that. My name is Steve Schumacher, by the way. What I represent is a group of volunteers, of people who are passionate about Phoenix history, Phoenix pioneers, Phoenix historic preservation. And if you noticed in the video, there was some money put into the trial budget for historic preservation, which is fabulous. We can never do enough of that. Unfortunately, our group, what we focus on is not the structures and the tax incentives and matching funds and Prop 207 and all those things. What we feel is historic preservation can go a lot further if we do a better job of education and awareness about Phoenix history and pioneers and our culture and those kinds of things. So that's what our group is focused on. And one of the things that has happened over the last 25 years, you may or may not know, is that the number of pre-1900 structures that are still standing in the Phoenix proper area has dropped from 103 to 49, which in my mind is a shame. And we don't have the power to change the laws or the ordinances or whatever, but we are a group of people that we have a lot of skill at education and awareness and a passion for Phoenix history. Now, the first step that we've taken, thankfully to Mayor Williams, prior to Mayor Gallego being elected, is Mayor Williams was good enough to sign a proclamation making the month of March Phoenix Pioneers Month. And we're very much appreciative of that. It allows us a springboard to do a lot more education and awareness. So what I would like to see put into the budget is not just some money for historic preservation for the structures above ground, but to increase the understanding on the part of all Phoenix citizens, school children, around education awareness of Phoenix history, heritage, our pioneers, and to create more of a downtown culture that appreciates that, and people are educated and understand that.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Lin Ling Lee. Hi, welcome.
Good evening, Honorable Councilwoman Deborah Stack, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lin Ling Lee, and I lived in District 3 for over 30 years. And I'm very proud to live in Councilwoman Deborah Stack's district. I love arts and culture. I strongly promote arts and culture by outreach to schools from kindergarten to university, and I also sponsor and organize many arts and culture exhibitions to promote global arts and culture awareness and diversity. I truly believe art and culture are very important. Not only arts can make our life beautiful, provide quality to our life, connect people close together with peace, harmony, understanding, appreciation, and unity. But also, arts can inspire younger generations, impact economy, build businesses, create job opportunities, and bring income to Phoenix. I'm a volunteer as Commissioner of Phoenix Office of Arts and Culture. I deeply thank City of Phoenix, Mayor Gay Gallego, Councilwoman Deborah Stack, and all council members for your strong support to arts and culture. Phoenix Office of Arts and Culture sincerely appreciate the additional $25,000 increase over last year for the grant budget. Also, the $100,000 for the public arts maintenance. We thank you for your continuous support and funding for arts and culture to allow arts and culture to provide arts and cultural services to our Phoenix residents at all ages. Thank you for your support.
Thank you, Ms. Lee. I appreciate. And thank you for volunteering and sitting on one of our boards and commissions. We really appreciate that. Craig Tripkin. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting out of order. I'm jumping ahead. And maybe it's because there's basketball tonight. Although Michigan State's out, so I don't know. My parents went to Michigan State. Patrick McMullen. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I don't know if that's an O or a U.
Good evening. My name is Patrick McMullen. I'm the current president of the Phoenix Mountain Preservation Council that was created in 1975. We have a membership of a little over 100 right now, so that's why I'm here speaking for our organization. And one of the things that we definitely support are these mountain preserves. And it's an honor to have you here, Councilwoman Deborah Stark. I just think you're great. And the and also, you know, I'm a Vietnam veteran, Sport Forces 71, 73, and this is why I live here. It's these preserves. And in this budget, there's an increase, glasses, that they're adding a park ranger, absolutely, and 8 park ranger positions. Let me see, park manager, 1 park manager and 8 park rangers to the budget this year. You know, the population here in the Phoenix Valley, this is the place to be with these preserves all over our valley. you know, and so it's just a wonderful thing. You know, I'm a hiker. I love being out here. Keeps me calm, and it's a good place to be. And so absolutely double thumbs up on the new budget. That's including the manager, 8 new rangers, and a GIS position. Because, you know, I mean, it's on our phones, so, so it'd be good to, you know, put more money into that. It's a good thing. So I just wanted to come up here and express our support for those in particular budget items, and the rest just sounds great. It's good that things are going well.
Thank you so much, and thanks for everything you do. And we actually have one of the best park rangers here in North Mountain, Claire Miller. I think she's around here somewhere.
She's right over
Yay!
there. Yeah.
No one knows this park like she does. Thanks, Claire. Okay, next. Oh.
No, I just wanted to, yes, and that's absolutely correct. Definitely supporting the budget.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Craig Tripkin. Welcome, Craig.
Shorter than the last guy. All right, let me just give you a quick handout. Councilwoman, thank you very much for being here, and you've got a great turnout here, I think, because they know you listen. I'm here on behalf of Central Arizona Shelter Services, downtown homeless shelter, and we've also got a family shelter in Sunny Slope, which we have 135 people in or thereabouts. I'm here to tell you 3 things, and I'm going to then tell you. Number 1, CAS is doing its part, and we have since last year, incredibly. Number 2, we have increased financial burdens that are uncontrollable, that we cannot control. Number 3, we have plans, big plans for next year. Now, doing our part, we have increased, and Councilwoman, you've asked about this, we've increased private fundraising by 500%, which is 78%, which is a $500,000 increase. Increased support from regional cities, 53% from last year. So we've been working that. Accomplishments, and I can give you numbers. We've acquired a building in Glendale, which will help us regionalize some of the things. It'll be a services center, but it'll help us. We've got a grant for a West Valley housing navigator. We expanded stuff. Now, bottom line, funding cuts from United Way, $236,000 for next year. General salaries and benefits, which we can't do much about, 8% increase on just health insurance alone, which is $110,000 total. Increase human services campus facility charge. They are looking at, number 1, we used to pay nothing. Now we're paying about $120,000 a year. We're expecting, best case, to $200,000 to be added to that, to basically our facility charges, common area charges, the campus. So we're going to be down $546,000. Got a lot of plans for next year, opening the Glendale building. We're going to have 10 beds for medically frail seniors that we're going to set aside, and we're going to have medical services there, not a circle of the city, but this for chronic people, not hospital people. And we're going to work with the hospitals. We're working on a plan for hospital releases and that sort of thing. I won't go into all the details. Now, what we ask for is for the city to pick up half of that deficit that we can't control. That's $258,000. Number 2, we will privately raise the other half, and we're on schedule to do that. We've done it. We are on the right arc. And number 3, we want some partial relief from what I'm calling narrowly specific cost reimbursement model, which will allow us to be more agile, flexible, and nimble with our funding. We are basically, our contract has us doing the same things we did 5 years ago. And we will not, if we keep doing what we did, we're going to get what we got. We need to have some openings in that where we can do things. For example, those senior beds that I mentioned, they're chronic beds, that's going to require bathroom modeling. Our contract won't allow that. Now, ESG national funds will allow it, but our contract won't. So we need to get some more flexibility in our contract. And that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. The next speaker is Robin Petrowski. Did I say it right? Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, we need to make sure you're speaking into the microphones because we're recording it.
Okay. Hi, I'm Robin. I live in this district, and obviously there's so many important and great things that need to be handled by the government, and it's our job to figure where to dole out all the money. All the speakers so far have made many great points. Where's the man from CAS? who was just speaking. I used to be a prosecutor, so I know that there is definitely a great need for the homeless. And far from Cass, even in this area here, I live off of 12th Street in Northern. There's a lot of homeless people. They set up, I don't know if the word is campgrounds or whatever, but in our arroyo of our complex, when it rains, there's syringes that are coming out of the arroyo. And obviously that's very dangerous for everyone living in the community. As far as the police officers, I think they're doing a fantastic job, and I think they deserve the lion's share of the budget, especially in this day and age when it seems to be that everything that happens in the world is the police officer's fault. And so any money for training or for more police officers, and we would certainly appreciate more police officers, more community action officers in this area, you know, to deal with the homeless people, especially because approaching them, we're just not sure if this person is dangerous or, you know, what the problem is going to be. And finally, the most important thing is library fines, okay? I just found out that the library fines don't go to the library, but they go to a general budget. Boo. Library fines should go to the library. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. I will say that we probably have one of the finest community action officers, Sergeant Kane. Of course, he's getting a promotion. The other thing, too, is our police department is hiring. So if you know anyone that's interested in a job, see the chief or see the commander. Thank you. Renee, Blaine, I know what you're going to talk about.
Well, hello. Thank you very much for accelerating the street improvements. They're quite inconvenient, but I always say, oh, what a blessing, right? Because we're getting all this good stuff done. What I have to talk about is just beyond the scope of the Sunny Slope area. And it's this area right here on 7th Street. I'm speaking for the biking community. It's really difficult to get through this pass, and I don't know what it's going to take to get a bike lane through there because we have these beautiful preserves that we all love, but it's hard to get around when you're on a bike. So I'm just speaking up for whatever it takes to start planning in the future and coming through these preserves for the biking community. We've got Cave Creek, and we've got 19th Avenue, and 7th Street's right in the middle. That's it.
Thank you, Renee. I appreciate. And if you've never been to the Sunny Slope Historical Society, visit Renee there. She helps run it. Thank you, Renee. Dan Clockey.
Sorry about that. So my name is Dan Clockey. Councilwoman Stark, Ms. Peters, thank you so much for your time. Two quick things. One, as a member of the Historic Preservation Commission, I really appreciate the added funds going to the budget to help the staff. Second, I want to talk about an issue around homelessness. Obviously, everyone knows this is a significant issue. It's already been mentioned so many times. The most recent point in time count for Maricopa County was 6,300 people were homeless. That's not an insignificant number. We know there are many reasons for folks to fall into homelessness. It could be mental health issues. It could be addiction issues. Two reasons that people fall into homelessness that maybe not quite so known. One of them is domestic violence, where women and their kids just have no place to go. They have to flee. The second part is, or second group, is people who come to Phoenix looking for opportunity because there are tremendous opportunities here. And for whatever reason, it doesn't work out, and they find themselves on the street. But these are folks that might have family and friends in other parts of the country, in other cities and towns and so forth. But they have no funds to get back to where they may have shelter. And so they're here and they're stuck. There's a simple program out there that organizations like CAS, that Mr. Tripkin was talking about, St. Vincent de Paul, have called family reunification. It's just as it sounds. It's a process that connects folks that are homeless, that are in these kind of conditions, with family and friends in other cities. This isn't simply a bus ticket of get out of town. This is truly connecting them with places where they can live and have shelter, but they don't have a place, or they don't have the money to get there. And so organizations like CAS and like St. Vincent de Paul basically create that connection. They reconnect folks who are on the street with their family and friends. They get them the food, the clothing, and so forth that they need to go on their travels, and they buy a bus ticket, and they buy a plane ticket. The cost, $200 to $300 a person. If you ask any police officer, if you ask any person in the Department of Public Works, the costs of cleaning up, the concerns that you have in terms of things in your arroyos and so forth, it is vastly more expensive to house and do all these different social services, police work, and so forth. It's estimated that 15 to 20% of people who are homeless could actually benefit from this program. And it's a pretty low-cost way to do that. Now, I know the city of Phoenix does more for homeless than any other city, any other governmental entity out there. There's no question about it. We do a tremendous amount. But I think that this could be a program that could really benefit our community. So I'm asking the city, and I know this is a large amount, but I'm asking for $500,000. And the reason I'm asking for this is because if you think about the numbers, if you can get someone home for $200 to $300, that's a significant chunk of that population that could be helped pretty easily. It's not for everybody. It does not work for everyone. But what it does do is it's a compassionate way to help people connect back with their family and friends. It helps free up the resources then to help people who are truly on the street and are chronically ill or chronically homeless and have significant illness or problems. Third, it makes complete economic sense. We want to do this in a smart sort of way. And fourth, it really protects families, especially women and kids who are victims of domestic violence, from more problems of living on the street. So I'd ask you to consider it, and I thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Maybe if you can stay, Dan, I'd like to talk to you more about that. Thank you. Our next speaker is Kathleen Ingley, former editor, writer for the Arizona Republic, and is also on our library board. Welcome.
Thank you. Yes, as Councilwoman Stark said, I'm on the Phoenix Library Advisory Board. We meet on the third Wednesday of every month at noon. So if you ever want to come and talk to the library staff and voice concerns, feel free to join us. I know we don't have to worry about Councilwoman Stark supporting the increased hours for the library, but I just want to point out that restoring Sunday hours for all the branch libraries still leaves us with a gap. A lot of the branch libraries are closed at least one day a week. And that this doesn't make in the long-term economic sense, because our libraries now have become a place where people go for education, to expand their abilities, and for community, which is more important in today's world of technology. Leaving that role aside, I just want to put in a word for trees, because I editorialize about them forever. We're putting a little money into street trees, but as far as I can tell, it won't even keep up with the number we're losing. Phoenix could be a worldwide example of sustainability in terms of dealing with heat. Trees are an important part of it. I don't know why the city is not seizing that opportunity. I hope for the next budget round, I know it won't happen this time, the city will go farther. Thank you.
Thank you. And that is all the speakers I have. I had one other card, but Borowski, am I saying that? Did you want to speak? No, I won't be able to walk up there. We can bring the microphone to you.
Thank you. Well, she mentioned my concerns about the libraries. I think that the Friday closing of the Mesquite branch was inappropriate, I guess. That's the only word I can think of at this time. I would like to have seen it open more times. A few years ago, I donated 300 books of World War II to the Mesquite branch on the condition they'd be available to the public. And with the library closed on Friday, I don't think that that's going to happen.
And Wes Harris. Thanks.
It's encouraging to see so many people smiling at the city taking more money from us. I find that incredible. I have a couple of comments about the city budget. Many years ago, I started advocating for zero-based budgeting. We implemented one, or at least I was told we did, some years back, about 5 years back, but we never talk about it in here. For those of you who don't know what zero-based budgeting it is, every department, when they start out with a budget, they're given a blank sheet. And then they have to justify every single program, every single position that they have within that department. And then it's built up that way. The problem with most government is that once there's a program set in there, it never goes away. We see on this particular summation, increase, 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 but we don't see any decreases. And surely there's got to be some decreases out there somewhere. But I don't see anybody even talking about getting a control of the monies that we contribute to the city that they spend. And one of the issues that I find incredible is the increase of $12 million in labor. I don't know if you know it or not, but we have what's called meet and confer. We have Phoenix is the largest city that has a strong city management government. This is not good news, because the people who are negotiating for us with the unions, of course, we're not supposed to be negotiating, so they call it meet and confer. The people that are negotiating with us we're not at the table. Deborah is not at the table. The city manager is at the table. And everything is given away. Of course, well, if I give you a raise of $10 and I'm senior management, then I should get $15. That's the way it works. And that's not the way it's supposed to work. But that's why we have runaway salaries, where the public sector has outstripped the private sector by almost 2 to 1. One example, I just reviewed, I work with the solid waste and the water department on their committees, and I just reviewed one sheet that was personnel. It was 20 lines down for the compensation for city employees. I mean, we give a linguistic raise, we give longevity raises, just every position has a top end. And if you've been in that position for, say, 20 years, you've gotten to the top of that rate. But the fact that you're sitting there and you have longevity, the city gives you an increase. So it goes over the prescribed level of that compensation. That doesn't happen in private sector. It just doesn't happen in private sector. And we really need to start raising a little bit of noise about that, because we're really being taken advantage of. The other thing I don't see in here is the funding for our unfunded pension liability. The unfunded pension liability in this country is greater than the national debt. I don't know if you know that or not, but one day those people who are on public dole are going to wind up getting no checks because it's going to be bankrupt. It's a classic Ponzi scheme. And we're not doing anything about it. We just elongated another 5 years onto the unfunded the last time. What did we do this time? Is there anything in there?
Jeff, is it 5 million? And the pension that we're paying it down? Yeah.
What is the number?
5 million.
4.6 billion. 4.6 billion, and your maintenance on that funding at 5 million a year? 500 million? Okay, but your cost to do that has doubled the unfunded liability because you've elongated it. So we should be tightening our belt to get rid of some of this unfunded liability. And we need to change the pension system. So, everybody comes up here and they want more. There's a finite level that we can contribute. After that, we can't give any more. So I want you to think about that.
Thank you, Wes. We have 2 more speaker cards, but they didn't mark whether they wish to speak, and they didn't include an address, but I'll call their names. Sarah Smith.
All right. Hi. So I've never been to one of these before. Give me 1 minute here. Hi. My name is Sarah Smith. I live in District 9, and I'm here for you.
There's not a District 9.
District 8.
8?
Sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. No, that's
like
okay.
I said, I've never done this
No,
before.
it's okay.
I'm new here.
Want to make sure you're in the right city. Okay. I mean, there are, Houston's got like.
I'm here to plead for you to make Phoenix a safe, clean, environmentally sound place to live. And I'm sure a lot of you know that the United Nations scientists made an announcement. We only have 11 years left to fight climate change before catastrophe. Right now, the current Phoenix climate policy states that their goal is to reduce CO2 emissions by 45% by 2012, which is nice, but that isn't even halfway to where science tells us we need to be by then. Or 2025, thank you. Now this plan was written in 2009, which was 10 years ago. Writing a new climate policy for Phoenix needs to be a top priority, and it needs to receive adequate funding in order to implement its solutions. When I look around my home, I see opportunities everywhere for combating climate change. For example, our light rail system, of course, is cleaner than driving cars. And by continuing to expand the light rail, we can reduce CO2 emissions and provide clean, affordable transportation for the public. We also need to update old building codes and infrastructure that doesn't prioritize environmental cleanliness. Building new structures that are clean isn't enough. There needs to be action taken on older infrastructure that produces waste. And for this, obviously, solar panels would be a great start. Arizona is one of the sunniest states in the country. We barely utilize this energy we're being given. If we don't update our climate policy and implement its updated solutions now, then we don't stand a chance. So please, we need to prioritize climate action, and we need to provide the funding. Thank you.
Thank you. And then Caitlin Cole or Cooley? Okay. No, that's okay. That's all the speaker cards we have. So thank you for coming. I'll stick around and be happy to chat with anyone.
This is one of 20 hearings citywide. The next steps are a vote, a presentation to the City Council on May 7th, and action by the Council on May 22nd. So do please take all the opportunities you can to give your feedback to the Council. And thank you for being here tonight. Thanks to all the city staff for coming out.